Hi, welcome to Home Farm. Today we're going to be reviewing this Flex 4 60 volt chainsaw from Toro.
So it's a gorgeous fresh autumn day and it is a bit nippy, but the sun is out. It's absolutely beautiful. We can barely see you. The sun is right behind the camera, so we're squinting, but it's really gorgeous standing in the sun.
And this weather means it's chainsaw weather. So we basically use a lot of chainsaws at this time of year to cut anything from firewood to decorative stuff to DIY projects.
Yeah.
We really do rely on them quite heavily.
And all the wood that we chop is on our land, so it's sustainable, and it is just literally either overgrowth or things that we need to manage on the land. But we do use our chainsaws an awful lot.
And it's a variety of stuff. So basically it's anything from thick branches to actual big chunky logs.
Yeah, and even storm damage if we have any storm damage or wind. There's quite a lot of trees around us, hundreds of trees in this valley, and an awful lot of those trees are 500-600 years old, and so they do tend to lose their limbs and branches in the winter. So when they come crashing down, we do process them, for access and to maintain their area, make it look tidy, but then we try and reprocess that wood in other ways.
So the Toro chainsaw itself is an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. I think we're both big Toro fans now.
Yes.
We bought the lawnmower last year, which was an absolute beast of a machine.
Yeah.
And I've got to say that the chainsaw is equally fantastic. But what I really love about it is that it's battery operated. And now with the evolution of batteries and the equipment that actually runs on those batteries, you're getting so much power. And we were able to get through probably, I would say, about 15 to 20 quite thick pieces of wood. And we only used about half the battery. And that was just a 2-amp battery. So, if you have got a bigger battery like we do for the lawnmowers, maybe a 6 or a 7.5, you're going to get a lot of chainsawing done on that.
I like Toro products. I think that everything that we've tried from Toro so far, and we haven't by any means tried the entire range, but the products that we have tried have all felt really robust and durable. And so from that perspective, as a small holder, somebody that's, we use our equipment quite heavy duty users. And so it's nice to have something you can pick up and just work with and not feel like it's rickety or it's potentially going to snap on you or break. And these do feel like really good durable products.
For first time chainsaw users, I think this is actually quite a good chainsaw. And the reason I say that is because it arrives in the box fully assembled.
Yes.
So from an installation perspective, you literally take it out and you can use it. You can put a battery in and start using it. It doesn't come with a battery. That's an interesting additional point.
Yeah.
You do have to purchase those separately. But the fact that it comes pre-assembled means that there's a little bit of less of a learning curve, because it's actually quite tricky for a first timer to put the actual chain on the actual blade itself.
And I think it's a bit of a surprise. I don't think that many people, if you've never ordered a chainsaw before in your life and you go to order one, I think that the general perception would be that you would open the box and it would be assembled,
ready to go.
So when you see the chain lying off and the blade separate, you kind of think, oh my goodness, where do I begin? most of the time it's fairly straightforward, but
Yeah.
as you said, it's just really nice to be able to, when you're using it for the first time or you've never used one before, to be able to just open the box. You know it's been pre-assembled, therefore it's safe to use, and you can just get going.
Definitely.
So when you do get your chainsaw for the first time, if you've never purchased one before, with the Toro one, we said it's pre-assembled. You take it out of the box, you want to make sure you've got a battery ready to go and it's charged,
Yeah.
and then you need to fill it with oil. Before you use it, you want to put the oil in.
That's a great point. So the oil just goes into the canister on the side here. You can get any decent, good quality oil for the actual chainsaw. And the one thing that you will...
But you do want chainsaw oil.
You need specific chainsaw oil.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind as well if you're buying it for the first time, a chainsaw.
Yeah.
When you're buying this, try and order yourself some chainsaw oil. Don't just go ahead and use any old oil from in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, we use a product called Oregon. It's actually quite well priced. You can get that on Amazon. You can get quite a big tub of that. After a little bit of usage, and this is something that maybe the advantage of actually assembling the chainsaw to start with might be quite helpful, because you'll know where it goes.
Yeah.
But what's really nice about the Toro is because it comes assembled the way it does, if the chain loosens at all, there's just a little groove in here that you can put a screwdriver in. It's actually just there, and you just tighten the chainsaw ever so slightly. So technically speaking, unless you actually need to just disassemble it to actually clean some of the gunk out inside, you could probably get a good season out of this without actually ever dismantling the actual chainsaw itself. The other really cool thing about battery operated chainsaws is they're not that loud. So you don't necessarily need to use ear muffs. Obviously, if you've got sensitive ears, you might want to still do that, but this is really not that loud in comparison to other petrol operated chainsaws. So again, that's a benefit too. So I mentioned batteries at the beginning of this review. This has got the 2.5 amp battery inside, so you can see there's a bit of a gap at the bottom. I've got a 7.5 amp battery next to me, so what I'm going to do now is I'll just take this out and just get the 7.5 amp one, and you'll see they've actually made enough space for it to actually slide in. Let me put it in the right way around. There we go. And it just clips in, and now you can see that the whole gap itself is actually filled. So they've actually accommodated for the larger batteries. The only thing I will say, now that I've put the 7.5 amp battery in here, this has gone substantially heavier.
Right, yeah.
So if you do want to have a
lighter weight,
use the 2.5 amp battery. You'll only, if you've only got a couple of logs to get through, do that. But if you've got a lot of chainsaw, then this is probably the guy, but it's gotten a lot heavier.
Yeah, I would also just say that if you first time buyers of chainsaws, you do want to think about the weight of the chainsaws. If you can get to a showroom and actually pick it up and feel it, but just keep in mind that the lighter it is, it's almost, it doesn't give you that weight that you kind of might want. So if you are chainsawing through something and it kicks back, you've got something that's quite lightweight kicking back at you, and that can be quite hazardous. So the nice thing about something like the Toro, when it's got a little bit more weight on your hands, you actually feel like you've almost got a bit more control going forward, rather than something lightweight just coming back at you. So you just want to kind of, it is a bit of a balancing act with regards to finding something that you feel comfortable with, but is going to give you that kind of safe weight. And I think that the Toro, for me and for you, we both feel very comfortable with this one.
It's well weighted and it's well designed. It's very comfortable to hold. If you've never used a chainsaw before, this is basically the brake on the front. So if I push this forward now just manually and I try and start the chainsaw, nothing happens. When you push it back, the chain activates. So the reason that's basically a safety feature. So if anything does happen and you're using the chainsaw, you push forward with your hand and it stops the blade. If you're looking for a good powered battery operated chainsaw, I think this one from Toro is definitely worth considering.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of power. It's battery operated.
Nicely built.
Well built.
Feels good.
Feels great. I think it comes with a 2-year warranty, but double check that.
Feels durable.
Feels durable, and just generally speaking, it gets the job done.
Yeah.
And I would feel very comfortable recommending this chainsaw.
Definitely. So I hope you found this video useful and interesting. If you did, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring the bell, and we hope to see you on our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.